Hi, this is James with Your Mac in a Minute, and for this tutorial we're going to talk about unlocking the power of Apple's Keychain. And in my experience as a computer coach, Apple's Keychain is one of the most misunderstood utilities in OS X. Oftentimes when I talk to people, they don't even know that exists. So in this tutorial we're going to show you how to store a password for an account, create passwords, and retrieve a password that you may have forgotten. And we're also going to talk about how to make secure notes. But before we begin, I'm going to take a moment and talk about what the keychain is, since many of you may not have heard of it at all. The keychain stores the passwords for you so that you don't have to type them in all the time yourself on your computer. And a great example of that's going to be your email. When you check your email in Apple's Mail or Microsoft's Entourage or whichever email program you're using, you typically don't have to enter the password every time. And the reason why is because Entourage and Mail know where to look in your keychain to go and grab that password and enter it for you and tell the server to go ahead and download the mail. Now I know there are some of you out there that are very secure and you don't have your email set up to do that automatically and you have to enter your password every time, but that's what most of us do. And your password just kind of acts behind the scenes. The keychain, I should say, acts behind the scenes so that you don't even see it usually. There's a number of different ways that we can find the keychain. You notice right now I'm up here in ScreenFlow, so I'm going to click on my desktop, and now it says Finder right there. I can click on the Go menu, and I can choose Utilities, and Keychain Access is right there. My window is set up so it displays everything alphabetically, so we have J and K. And then I can double click on it right there if I want it. I'm going to close that though. I could also click on Go and choose Applications if I want, and then scroll down to Utilities, because your Utilities folder lives in your Applications folder. And then again we have Keychain Access. The third way I can get to it is by hitting the Command key, the Shift key, and the U key all at once, and that opens the utility folder. And for those who might not know the command key is the key that has a little apple on it. If you have one of the older Macs like mine, or if you have one of the real new Macs, it'll say command on it. So you just hit Command, Shift, and U all at once. And the other way we can access Keychain Access is by clicking on our spotlight icon right there. And we could type that in, or we can hit Command Space, and that also brings up Spotlight. So I'm bringing up Spotlight, and I'm just going to type in key. And you can see my top hit is Keychain Access right there. So I'm going to click on that, or I could have hit Return key, either way. And that brings up the keychain for us. That's a nice fast way to get to it. So one of the first things I'm going to do is create a password item, is what we call that. And that would be a password for maybe my Amazon account if I kept on forgetting what it is, or if it was very secure and very hard for me to remember, or we could also use it for like a bank account, something like that. So I'm going to click on File, choose New Password Item. I could also choose Command N if I want to use a keyboard shortcut. And that brings up our window right here. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it what this key is, what the password is for. So in this case it's for Amazon. So I'm going to type in Amazon right here. And I tab over and I would put in my account name. Now a lot of you folks, it will be your email address, or it could be a nickname. In my case, I'm just going to type in James because it's easy for me to remember. And now I tab again, and we have the password right here. And you notice right next to the password is this little key. So I could either just type in James if I want, and in this case it tells me that, geez, you know, that's not a very secure password. I can click on Show Typing here. So it rates my password strength, says it's weak. Or if I wanted to, I could click on this key right here. You can see click to help you create a secure password, and it's going to give me a lot of choices. In this case, you know, we can go with something that they call memorable, and it gives us a red saying it's not really that great, but I can change the length if I want. That makes it a little harder to for somebody to guess. I choose memorable. I can choose letters and numbers. And you notice there are even uppercase and lowercase with numbers thrown in. And as the password quality gets better, the password gets more secure, you're going to find that this gets greener and greener. And if I move this all the way to the left, it turns yellow for us to say that's not really a very good password. That's caution. You can see my password for James is red. But you can also see that it automatically is populating our new password from here right up to here. And if I wanted to, I'd click add and just keep that password. We can also choose numbers only, and now we're getting an orange. Choose random or FIPS. So we have all these choices. I said, we can choose memorable. And if I were to click right here where it says suggestion, we have a drop down menu. And that gives me a lot of other choices. So if I don't like this password I'm looking at for some reason, I could choose one of these other ones. So it really gives me a lot of flexibility. It gives me something very secure. And I'm just going to click on add. And it's added that password into my Amazon account. So of course in my case I'd also have to tell Amazon that's what the password is that I want to use. Now because that password is so hard to remember, every time I go to Amazon I might need to go back to my keychain to recover it. So I'm going to double click on the Amazon keychain here. You notice the name again is Amazon. The account name is James. But right here where it says show password, we don't have anything written. That's because I need to click on this checkbox and it brings up this dialog box for me. And I have to enter the password not for the Amazon account but my OS X user password. So that's the password that you use to either sign on to your computer or the password that you use when you're going to install software. So let me type that in here. And I have three choices here. I could either click on always allow, which I don't recommend. I can click on deny, which is like saying cancel. Or I can click on allow. And that's usually the one I go with. The reason why is because if you click on always allow, then if somebody else comes and clicks on your show password, they're going to be able to see what the password is. If you click on allow, you have to enter your user, your OS X user password every time. So that's what I'd recommend. I click on it there, and look at that. There is the password that we created this item. So that's how we recover a password. Let's also talk about how to create a secure note. I'm going to click on File. Right there we have New Secure Note. It's going to be Shift Command N if we want to use that. So that arrow pointing upward is the Shift key. I'm just going to click right there. And you notice that this dialog box looks a little different. It's just going to give us a, they call it keychain item name. You might also just think of it as the note name. So it says a little lower here, enter a name for this note. And I'm going to call it credit card. Though really, I mean, you can write anything you want in here. So this is just a note that you want kept secure that nobody else can access. So it could be a bunch of credit card numbers, it could be some personal information, whatever it is that you want. And I'll just put CC in here to make it nice and quick. And I'm going to click on add. You notice we have a little icon here. It looks like a little sticky with a lock on it, and it's called credit card. And I double click on that, and it brings up a very similar dialog box to what we saw before, except this time it says show note instead of show password. If I click on that, we have the exact same dialog box. And I'm going to type in again my OS X user password. I'm going to click on allow, and there I can see the note. But without that, it's not going to let anybody see that at all. I'm going to go ahead and close that. And that's pretty much it for part one. I have two parts for this because the keychain is so powerful. This is part one. And now you know how you can use a keychain to save, generate, and recover passwords. So I'm James with Your Mac in a Minute, and I wish you an awesome day.